Good evening, folks. Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie. Well,
Woo-hoo! Lolo!
Richard and the Dice Man is in the house.
What's up?
Hey, Lo, what's going on in this community? I tell you, folks, there's a lot been going on. But one thing that I just want to start out is that my daughter, Arizona, came here and she drove here. She drove actually from Virginia and went straight to Birmingham. Of course, I think Birmingham is closer than Meridian. Her mother lives in Hueytown and my other son. But anyway, she's visiting, and then she's leaving there, and she's going to Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, and visit family there. But she was in Poland, so y'all see this right here. This is a part of Poland she was in, and it has Poland in the back. I think it means newly elected in a few more months. That's what it means. Newly, it's Polish for Eddie Hoke gonna win this race.
So, what she just come from?
Actually, she was in Poland.
Poland.
Yeah, she was in this part of Poland right here. What's that? Yeah, can't y'all see it?
Yeah. And check this out. Who gave her the name Arizona? That's a beautiful name, Arizona.
I did. It's the movie Raising Arizona with Nicolas Cage.
Your kids have unique names.
Yeah, I love that movie, and I like that movie. I said, if I ever have a daughter, I'm going to name her Arizona and call her Zoe, and we call her Zoe. A lot of people know that's her name. It's just like just about all of my sons, like Xavier. Some people say Xavier, but it's not Xavier. If the X is not hyphenated like an X-ray, then you don't say X. The only time you say X is when it's hyphenated. Other than that, it has the Z sound. His name is Xavier, such as like Xavier University. But a lot of people got that name spelled like that, and they say, even his mama said Xavier. I said, boy, don't you get tired of your mama mispronouncing your name? But anyway, I just want to say I really enjoyed her being here. So that's the second thing that happened to me that's great this year. And it's going to be other things that's happening, that's going on. But it's been some things. I heard some pretty disturbing things that's been going on out to the high school, though.
Oh, yes, I heard, too. Shall we talk about it? My phone was blowing up.
I think we should talk about it because I think what happened.
You got emails too?
Yeah, I got emails too, and especially what happened to the 18-year-old man. In my opinion, is so unfair. That's when Richard. What happened is that a good kid in the 12th grade, about to graduate from high school, a good kid, Cornelius Parks, just got hired on, not even certified yet. Actually went in this young man's trunk, the trunk of his car, people, and pulled out a gun. Now, understand that he drove his father's car. And Lord will be able to tell you some more things about it in greater detail to school. A good kid, Cornelius Park, without a search warrant, without an administrator telling him to, without even the chief ruffian telling him to, without getting anyone permission, went in that young man's car, got the gun out, and went over the radio talking about it and all that kind of thing. And he violated this young man's rights so many ways. But how about he took the young man to
Lauderdale County Jail.
And took him to Lauderdale County Jail, and they booked him with a felony. And he got expelled from school. Wow. Now, you talking about that meritorious monument that I'm talking about, manumission? That's a perfect example of meritorious manumission, where you destroy your own kind to uplift yourself. Now, he didn't do that for any particular race. He did it to uplift himself. And we got too much of that going on in this city here. Lo, anything else you want to tell the people about that?
Said that he went in well, it's actually two vehicles he went in. But that particular vehicle you just spoke about, that car have tinted window. So I didn't know he went in the trunk, but I was told that he went in the car and pulled out an AK and come across the radio and say, I need an administrator to the lower campus, lower parking lot. I just got an AK out of a student vehicle. So everybody got silent. They were like, did he just say what he said across the radio? They said about 2 minutes later, he come back across the radio. I need an administrator to the lowest parking lot. I just retrieved an AK out of a vehicle. Now, in order to search someone's vehicle, you have to get permission from the administrator to begin with. And then to stream that out over the radio for everybody to hear, including the students. And so some parents hit me up, and they were concerned about it. You know, kids are already scared to go to school because of COVID, can't concentrate, because when the next person to them cough, you know, they scared they're going to get COVID. Now, hell, they scared that somebody going to give them COVID and scared somebody going to come through the door shooting. But I was told this child is a decent child that doesn't get in any trouble. In Cornelia Park, taking the child to Lauderdale County Jail, and they booked the child in for having a firearm on the school campus. A 12th grade student now, not a troubled student. Then another student searched that vehicle and found some marijuana on the seat. I was told that that particular student is 17 years of age, and his mother is the school nurse.
Wow.
And she's supposed to be getting a lawyer.
And she should get a lawyer. I don't know where Cornelius Park is, but I'm glad that he's not a police officer. But I'm glad. But this is the kind of thing, Lawton, that we don't need in this community. And when you at the high school doing to the high school students who are trying to get ahead and trying to make a difference, you shouldn't do that to any of our children, whether they're in school or out of school. Everybody has a right to be secure in their person. Mississippi is a stand your ground. We know about that law, but he went in that car. No law was being violated. He did not have what you call probable cause, folks. If he don't have probable cause, because you go to a place that does not give them permission, let's say you park at the Meridian Police Department, you park outside in their parking lot, and you go inside. That does not give them the authority or right legally to come into your car and look at it and get something out of it and then charge you for it. You have a right to be secure in your person. They have to get a search warrant, and a judge have to sign that. Cornelius Parks did all of those things without a search warrant, without an administrator, as if he's the judge, the jury, the chief of police, the administrator. And this is really, really bad. Nothing has anything like this ever happened at the high school like this before.
That I know of.
Well, they need to fire Cornelius Park. This is what I'm telling you. I'm asking you, Amy Carter, you should fire him. Who's the principal at the Meridian High School?
Mr. Joe Griffin. He's a great guy, though.
Mr. Griffin, you should fire him. He should be fired. And the chief of police out there is, the chief is Ruffin.
Matter of fact, Ruffin didn't even know about it until afterward. Didn't even notify the chief of the school campus, the school ground.
And didn't even ask anybody else to assist him or anything like that.
And how
long has he been working there?
Not long. It ain't been that long.
Too bad he ain't been working there but a couple of weeks.
I'm going to say this right here, Gray Ho. I'm going to say this because I don't like the fact that Cornelia lied on me twice. He lied on me a few years ago, went back and told an attorney that I was pissed off because this attorney went and qualified to run for circuit court when, in fact, that was a lie. Called the guy and told the guy that I was hot and heated, trying to turn this guy against me. I guess he needed some political money. But because he was running for supervisor himself, he was planning on running for supervisor the following year. Right. So what he was doing was trying to lie on me, trying to damage my name, hoping that this guy would give him some money and not support me when I funded my own damn campaign. But he lied and told this guy I was hot and heated because he went and qualified to run for circuit court judge. When the night before I talked to this attorney, Cornelia told me that this attorney went and qualified to run for circuit court judge, and I said, well, about a month ago, I reached out to this attorney, and I told this attorney that I was going to back Robert Compton. And he said he would do the same. I said, are you sure this man, I'm going to just say it, Attorney Wilson, Stephen Wilson. I said, you sure Stephen Wilson told you that? He said, yeah. I said, well, I'll just wait and see. So that evening found out that he actually qualified. So I inboxed Stephen Wilson on Messenger, told him, congratulations, I see that you qualified to run for circuit court judge. I said, haven't you would have told me this approximately a month ago when I told you I was going to back Robert Compton, I would have stood back. I said, now you don't put me in an uncomfortable position, and I can't backpedal. My word is my bond. I've been out here campaigning for Robert Compton, and I can't switch up. Well, he was okay with that. We went on for about an hour conversating. The next day, Cornelia Parks called me, asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm out here in New York playing my grandkids. He said, I've been thinking about something. I said, what is it? I think you and I should get behind Stephen Wilson because he don't help you and I out both tremendously. I said, come again? And he repeated, I said, hold up, dude. I talked to Attorney Wilson last night. We straight. I said, now when it comes to helping us out, each time he represented me, he was paid. He don't represent you how many times you didn't pay this man anything and bragged about having money and wouldn't pay this man. So after Stephen Wilson texted me and let me know what was going on a Saturday, I got pissed off, so I started dealing with Parks. So the following year, when I ran for supervisor, and he turned around and ran for supervisor too. Mind you now, the same exact sign Cornelia Parks used are the exact same sign I purchased for him in 2015. I funded that nickel campaign. And he turned around, no, he didn't stand a chance of competing against me and ran against me now. So after he fallen short in the primary elections, the runoff between me and Craig, he hit up Tyrone Johnson. told Tyrone he wanted to endorse me. Mind you, now, it had been over a year without me talking to Cornelia. So when Tyrone called me up, said, Cornelia trying to get in touch with you. He wanted to endorse you. Well, that's the only thing he has to do, call us Newsom. He ain't got to talk to me. So he want to talk to you, want to talk to you. Next thing I know, Cornelia calling my phone. He said, I need you to call the Newsom. Well, you can do it yourself. So, you know, we started talking back each other bits and pieces from there. Then, lo and behold, some months later, this nigga done went and told George Coleman that I told. So they were trying to find out how was I getting information from MPD.
Right.
And Cornelia Park pretend to be an investigator. This nigga's no damn investigator. I don't know why he get himself investigator Park, whatever we call this damn thing. He's not a fucking investigator. That's what he go by on this bootlegger ass podcast he got. Well, anyway, he call himself an investigator. And so, I guess he was talking to Charles Coleman when he was the interim chief. And Charles Coleman, because Charles Coleman been on Cornelia podcast. And I'm assuming that Charles Coleman told Cornelia, I want to know who been leaking the information that's going on MTD to Lolo. And he probably told Coleman, oh, I can solve that. I'm an investigator. This is before he started working for Meridian Public School, trying to make it seem like he's some macho type of goddamn guy.
It's obvious that he didn't, because if he did, he'll still be doing that.
And then check this out now. Next thing you know, so Rita was fighting to get her job back. And so, you know, the police department had to turn over everything to an attorney. And just so happened was an email off in there, Cornelia Park saying that I called him that Monday. It was on a Wednesday when he sent this email to Coleman, Charles Coleman. So I called him that Monday saying that Rita Jack called me and was upset about being placed at Bonita Lake Precinct. So I texted Cornelia. I called him first to answer. So I texted him. I said, what this shit is you telling this man that I told you that Rita Jack was upset about being placed at Bonita Lake Precinct? You and I never had that conversation. I never told you that, dude. So I sent him the email that he sent Coleman. And the only thing he was trying to do was try to make it seem like he was actually an investigator to impress George Coleman.
Probably trying to get a job at the Meridian
Probably was before the school hired him. I was told they hired his ass at the Meridian Public School.
Well, they need
but
to get rid of him.
He lied.
Yeah.
That conversation never happened. Even after Rita was off the job, after they suspended her, and even suspended my son before they were fired, I was still posting what was going on at the police station. So Coleman should have known himself that Cornelia lied.
Yeah.
But you know, I cut him off. I don't deal with no motherfucking liar.
But you know what? When you lie, see, he's not going to be out there long. The reason why he's not going to be out there long, people, is because he's lying. You can't build anything on lying and corruption. Nothing lasts when you do that. And he's not going to be out there long, because look what he just did to this kid. And then I got to talk to you Christians out there. In the Bible, God says, suffer not the little children, for theirs are the kingdom of God. You can't do anything to hurt children. These were good children. These are children. When you target the children that are in school, shame on you, Cornelia. Shame on you. I know from first-hand information, somebody telling me about folks that smoke marijuana, and they in law enforcement. And I'm just telling you the truth. Smoke marijuana. I've seen Percy Bland chuck a beer down like my brother Wayne, like the mayor of 9th Avenue. Percy could chuck a beer down there. I mean, when he started drinking one beer, he can't stop at one. But he still made this mayor. But my point of it is that nobody should be targeted in our school, especially in the 12th grade. And Amy Carter, I got to say this. And I want to say this to the family of that young man. Lord, we need to do everything we can to help this young man get back in school. Because I'm sure by the time that all this is said and done, his life has already been destroyed with this. But this case probably going to be dismissed, because a good attorney will be able to get it dismissed because of illegal search and seizure. Did not read him his right or anything like that, and started talking to him. And I'm going to talk to you out there.
And you can purchase a firearm at the age of 18.
That's right.
Now, I don't know what the policy of having a gun on the school ground, but he's 18.
You can't. You can have a gun, but I don't think you can purchase one at 18. Maybe a shotgun.
A shotgun you can. So that was a assault rifle.
Yeah. And folks, it's just, again, I gotta say this, is that Meridian Public School, Amy Carter, what's his name, John Griffin, Mr. Griffin?
Joe Griffin,
Mr. Griffin, sending that boy home for a few days is okay, but when you talking about it, he was expelled, kicked all the way out of school for the rest of the remainder of the school year?
I reckon so. They said expel.
Nah, you can't do that. We can't.
But see, that comes from, the school board member make those.
But we got the wrong school board member there. If it was their children, look what happened to when Joseph, I don't know his last name, or Joseph, if that's his last name, that killed, Clark, Jericho Clark. Look how he was treated. He didn't even go through this system here. He went through the system in Kemper County and went through the front door and out the back door. Matter not even went in the front door, period. Probably by the time he got to Kemper County, his bond was already set because Robert Jones or whoever, John Howard, already done called up there and set him a low bond, and his folks was up there. Either it could have been a signature bond, but he was out to continue to do things. Look how they do. My point of it is, people, that they do their children differently. They don't do their children. That's what I meant, Lo. When they ain't going to love our children like we love our children. They're not going to treat our children like we treat our children. You get one of those Negroes. Somebody said to me about saying nigger. You get one of those Negroes, which is what I want. You get one of those niggas. See how I'm getting confused? You get one of those niggers, and a nigger is somebody that just don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. You get one of those Negroes like Cornelius Parks. Just will sacrifice everything trying to move upward. He want to be the chief of police out there. He want to be the chief of police in Meridian. He want to be a big wheel. He want to be somebody in charge. He want to be a supervisor. He want to be a judge. He want to be a circuit. He want to be a clerk. He want to be anything where he gonna say, hey, look who I am. I'm the one that's in charge. Look who I am. I'm a supervisor. I'm a clerk. You know, all these different things. But Cornelius Park, what is it that you can bring to the table? What would be your platform? If you're doing this kind of thing, we don't really want you in position of authority. We don't want you in government or leadership because you're definitely not a leader. What we want you to do is go away quiet into the night. Please, go away quiet because it's going to be a fight. We don't like when you mess with our children. So we want you to be fired. We want you to be gone.
The first thing I would have done was looked at the child. You know, have this child ever had any disciplinary? Because I was told the child wasn't even a problem child. And then you have to take in consideration this child last year at school.
But and the school should look at all that.
The
villain in this is Cornelia Park.
I mean, the gun was inside the vehicle. The gun was inside the vehicle. I wouldn't have a heart to do that.
Yeah. He had no business looking in the vehicle. I wonder what would you find if you looked in some of those administrators' vehicle out there. Wonder now. You understand the law is the law.
Or else his vehicle, the vehicle he drives.
Yeah. It's just something that should not have happened. It just should not have happened. And it's very, very unfortunate that happened to that young man. I hope that the family reaches out to me and to you, Lo, so that we can help in any way we can. There's a couple of things happened today. Well, you know, everybody been talking to me about Tyrone Johnson's video. That's a lying man.
You talking about with Cornelia Parks?
With Cornelius Park, the podcast, I guess that's what it was on. And
can I touch base on that?
You know you got to, Lo.
Now, Dice, I've been listening to the show before I even started coming on here and doing podcasts with Mr. Hope, and I know you like Tyrone. And this all me. So looking in the camera, this all me. It don't have anything to do with Dice. It don't have anything to do with Eddie Hope. This is all me. You okay with that? Okay. So, you know, I tried to be respectful to people and stuff. And, you know, the clipping of the video was sent to me on this morning, this afternoon, and then realized I received text message on last night regarding the podcast that Cornelia Parks done, and he had Tyrone Johnson on the podcast. And someone sent me a screen recorder, a little snippet of what Tyrone Johnson said. Now, I don't want anybody to listen to this podcast thinking what I'm about to say. I'm actually saying it because I support Weston Lindeman. It have nothing to do with that. You know, I let it be known I support Councilman Weston Lindeman for the mayor's seat. That's no secret. 2017, when Tyrone Johnson ran for city council, both of his opponents that ran against him, well, actually, it was 3 ran against him, but I'm talking about the Democratic candidate. That was Tabitha Jones Adam, and it was Nathaniel Pringle. I grew up in the neighborhood with Tabitha Jones. I also know Nathaniel Pringle. One of my older sisters went to school with Nathaniel Pringle's wife, Athea. So I've been knowing Athea for some years, been knowing her husband for some years, and I known Tabitha that ran against Tyrone for some years. But I was trying to find someone that was young and energetic to run for that seat and someone I thought that had the best interest. And I actually went against the grain because I knew Tabitha. But I thought that Tyrone was capable of doing a better job. The reason why I didn't stand behind Nate Pringle, because he supported a Republican supervisor 2 years in a row, Raymond Newell. So I couldn't support Nathaniel Pringle, and I told Nathaniel Pringle the reason why. So, gotten behind Tyrone, had multiple conversations, and I even funded Tyrone's campaign. I bought his push cards, I bought his yard sign, I bought shirts. I even had fish fry to raise more money to buy more signs. So, I'm thinking Tyrone was going to do a decent job when he got on that city council board, and I must say, you disappointed me. We would have conversation, and you would tell me one thing, but get on the city council board and does another. For instance, he was against the property tax increase, which was only be about $10 to $15 per year, once a year. But you turn around a few months later and voted in favor for the water bill increase, which is monthly, and it's more than $10 to $15 extra per bill, and that's every month. Well, anyway, to speed things up, September 2019, Councilman Johnson called my phone and told me that he found a house. And I said, congratulations, because I know he had been looking for a house. He said, it's in George Thomas Ward. I said, oops, are you planning on stepping down for Ward 2 Council? You said, no, Tyrone. You said, you and your wife and children moving at the new location, and your sister was going to move in the house that you were renting from the Smith. I said, Tyrone, be careful. That was the latter part of 2019, September. So, the following week, I received a phone call from someone that worked for the city of Meridian. Councilman Johnson's wife come down here today to get the water transferred. I'm like, really? They say anything else, because I didn't want no part of that. I told Tyrone to be careful, get in well of trouble, moving out your ward while representing the ward that you no longer live in. So I went to Jenkins Barbershop Fall Festival in October 2019. Terrence Davis was there. Craig Houston was there. Kim Bonner Houston was there. Tyrone was there. Michael Gray, just different candidate that was running for the Democratic, the DA, District Attorney seat, as well as the supervisor seat in 2019. Terrence Davis, that worked for the city, walked over to me. And he said, Kim Bonner Houston just asked me, have you heard about Tyrone moved out his ward? So Terrence come over to where I was standing. He said, Kim said, Tyrone just have asked me, have I heard about Tyrone moving out his ward?
So stop right there and then continue with your story. So you're telling me that Kim knew also that Tyrone Johnson had moved out his ward? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So I said, on the way to find out, let's hear it from Tyrone now. So I called Tyrone over to where we were standing, Terrence Davis and I. I said, Terrence said, Kim just asked him, have you heard about you moving out your ward? So he looked at Terrence and looked at me. He said, well, that's nowhere in the law that say that I can't move out my ward. And I'm like, really? I said, Tyrone, be careful. So that was in October of 2019. So Christmas Eve, no, it was New Year Eve, Tyrone posted a picture of the house on Facebook. And I'm like, Lord, 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 why would he do that? Anybody can look at this house and would know that house is not in Ward 2. Now, give and take, Grey Hope. There's a nice-looking house in Ward 2.
That's right.
So I wasn't putting down Ward 2. Born and raised, Breeze Leak, Ward 2. East Side. I'm a real East Sider, Tyrone Johnson. So I'm like, anybody can look at that house and tell that house is not in Ward 2. It was on New Year Eve when he posted the house. I hit up 2 people to try to convince them to call Tyrone to tell him to take that picture down. I was trying to save face, but I didn't want no part of it.
Right.
So the person podcast he was on last night, Cornelia Parks, was one of the people I called. I said, have you talked to Tyrone lately? He said, I haven't talked to him since you and I both ran for office. I said, care to call him up and tell him to take the picture down of the house he just posted up? And Cornelia like, why? What's going on? What's going on? So while he was playing Brand New last night himself on that podcast, Cornelia, you knew that he was out the Ward 2. You knew he had moved out the Ward 2. Mm-hmm. So he said, I don't want to get in because I don't want him thinking that I'm hating. I said, well, you're actually looking out for his best interest. So He wouldn't call Kennedy. He wouldn't call Tyrone. So I called Kevin Magruder. I said, you talked to Tyrone lately? He said, some weeks back. I said, you do me a favor. And he was like, what's up? I said, you'll call Tyrone and tell him to take down that picture of that house. I guess Tyrone was more concerned with getting likes because his new house is a beautiful home than he was about you capable of going to jail for moving out your ward and voting on issues, and you no longer stay in your ward. You done moved out your ward.
Yeah.
So Magruder didn't want to get involved. So I'm like, I'm standing back out there. I didn't say anything. I didn't even entertain the picture because I already knew he had to move. So that was on New Year Eve. January the 7th, there's a known realtor. She used to be a realtor in Meridian for about 20-some years. Mm-hmm. She posted a picture of the house. Her caption was, Tyrone Johnson, is it legal for you to move out of your ward? Is it legal for you to stay in Ward 1 while representing Ward 2? He should have just left it alone. He shared the post. And him and the lady were going back and forth. And
people jealous on
and people were attacking it. And then Tyrone said he still lived at the rental place, at the Smith house. Mm-hmm. Mind you now, this was on January the 7th. He said, I still live, no, it's January the 5th, I believe it was. He said, I still live at the Smith house. He said, you come over and have a cup of coffee. Then he said he moved out because his house was, he said he had a home invasion that he did not report. Something I never heard of. He never shared that with me. I'm like, do you know what a home invasion is? And he said that his vehicle was broken into multiple times, which I know at one time the person that he said he chased, said his wife saw the person inside the vehicle and he chased the person down the street. I was told that person was his niece's boyfriend.
I was told he made it up. Well, because at the time I think he was running for something, re-election or something.
I don't know, but here's the thing. So that was like January 5th. So I'm like, He said he still stay there. He didn't know that the Smith was already remodeling the house, doing work to the house, and he was still saying he stayed there. Now, here it is, February 12th. He go live in front of the new home and talked about, my wife told me not to go live, but he decided to go live anyway. I didn't know anything of this live.
This here was after I brought attention. I was presented it to the council.
That was before the hearing.
Yeah.
You had already presented to the council.
But we had a second one to come to. He was actually trying to solicit sympathy, in my opinion, getting people kind of like, I guess, doing a preemptive strike.
And so I was coming through Marion, picking the fruit people up from work, and I received a text message saying, "Oh, you listen to Tyrone live?" So instead of me texting while I'm driving, I called and said, "What you mean? He's live now." I said, "No, I'm not listening to Tyrone live." So one of the passengers just so happened to hear my conversation. Of course, I'm talking on the phone. She started listening to the live. I said, "Can you please cut that down?" Because it was raining that day. I'll never forget, you look at the forecast, February the 12th of last year, it rained, but at least it was raining coming through Marion. I said, "Will you please cut that damn shit off and stop talking?" I said, "Actually, aggravating because I don't like driving in the rain." Right. So I dropped off the people, get to the house, and I'm in this group on Facebook. And so I was tagged up on certain things, and I'm looking at the clipping of his live. People don't screen record it and post it in this group that I'm in. 200 people in this group. And they like tag me, read this, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. So I really didn't want to listen to it because I didn't want no part of this shit. Because the person that texted my phone told me what it was regarding, I really didn't want no part of it. So I listened to some of it, and he started off saying his wife didn't want him to go live, but he went ahead and decided to go live anyway. And then he go on to say that he moved his wife and children in the house, and he only come over on the weekend. So he said, "Then like, ain't nobody gonna buy into that. A big home like that, ain't nobody gonna buy into that." So and he said, "I still stay at my rental house. That's the Smith house. That's the house that had already been rented out. They had already rented out to someone." And he was still saying that he stays there. And in that same live video, he stuck his foot in his mouth. He said that he moved because him and his landlord had some disagreement, and he been looking for a house in his ward for the last 2 or 3 weeks, which had been longer since you've been at that rental house.
Right.
And he said soon he find a place in Ward 2, he'll be moving back in his ward.
I saw that.
So at first he was saying that he still stay there. But on last night, he said he wasn't trying to do anything unethical. Of course you did.
That's right. And a
Of course you did. Because when doing the hearing, and the reason why I'm speaking out about this, I spoken out after he was voted out his seat. He tried to insinuate to the few audience that listened to Cornelia podcast that Weston put up a good argument, and the other council bought into it and voted him out.
And that is
he said
not
that, he said that
true.
twice. If the council buy into what Weston say, the city would be in a whole lot better shape now. They actually always disagreeing with Winston because they know Weston Lindeman.
Well, is he? You gotta ask you a question. Is he Weston Lindeman campaign manager?
Who?
Because he didn't lie. He's telling the truth, but he lied about Weston Lindeman speaking up for him. Weston Lindeman did not speak up for him. It was Eddie Gray Holt.
No, he said Weston Lindeman made an argument. I guess that's what I'm saying. It was you that brought the thing against him.
Yeah.
But he said Weston Lindeman. I guess he was bringing Weston Lindeman thing up on that podcast last
But Weston
night.
Lindeman did not. I didn't see that.
Because Weston is the stronger candidate that runs
Yeah.
for mayor. So he's not going after anybody else. It was all the other 4 councils that
called-
voted him out that seat.
So he's calling himself really trying to take Weston down because, but really what you're doing, Tyrone, in my opinion, is you giving Weston Lindeman the same thing the Lord I've been saying all the time. It's always him. Everything you say about him is true, but he did not present the argument. You're telling the truth about somebody that did a very good argument, but it was me that did the research on the law. Not only that, they were planning on letting you keep that seat, Tyrone. But I also researched the law and showed them that if they did not remove you from that seat, that they themselves would have been breaking the law. And nobody want to go to jail for anybody else. But you need to step down and not run for mayor because you're a liar, you're corrupt, you want to be important, and you're not very smart. You have some type of mental issue going on with you. And I can say that. You heard that?
But yeah, I heard it.
Go ahead on.
But what I'll get
finish
to
your
you,
comment.
the reason why I'm bringing this up, because when he was voted out the seat on last night on that podcast, he said, I've been silent. When you tell the truth, when you done nothing wrong, you don't have to say anything. He said, that's why I've been silent. That wasn't true. When you were voted out your seat, you kept making posts, Tyrone, back to back on Facebook, trying to make it seem like it was the council fault. Like you want some sympathy. You kept going back and forth, just making posts. They even created a petition. Now, if you felt that you done nothing wrong, you had 10 days to file an appeal in the circuit court. It wasn't no attorney general opinion. It's the law. Once you vacate your property, you must step down. That wasn't no attorney general opinion, as you stated last night on that podcast.
That was a lie.
It's a lie. It's a law. So here's the thing. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because when he was voted out the seat last year about all 4 city council, because he couldn't vote because it was about him.
Right.
Unanimously, they voted him out the seat. All 4 other city council, George, Fannie, Weston, and Kim, all 4 of them voted you out. I wasn't even present when they voted him out. I was already gone. Well, anyway, last year when they voted him out, he kept making these posts, and I'm seeing these people saying things, slick shots, subliminal posts toward me. Yeah. Where's Lolo at? She supported him and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Where's Lolo at? And then one person even said, where's the big mouth of the South? Why is she not speaking up? And I'm seeing Tyrone just loving these people coming. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, nigga. I supported your ass. I campaigned for you. I funded your campaign. And you know I didn't have anything to do with them out in your ass. You stuck your foot in your mouth when you told off on yourself.
Told off on himself.
And so, folks were blowing up my phone. Justin Williams went live. A guy named Mac Williams was on Justin Williams live saying that he was told that Lolo went behind the scene.
That is not true.
I don't talk to Kim. I don't talk to Fannie. I don't talk to George Thomas. You need more Georgia of the vote to get it done. I don't talk to neither one of those. So how did Lola have anything to do with it? So I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing Tyrone misleading folks.
Like he doing
and then
now.
Folks throwing subliminal posts toward me, and if it was for me, you would never been a city council because didn't nobody know who he was. Right. And then some of the people like saying he's a gangbanger, he's a thug. Just like when he went live on February 12th of last year, he said people hating because he done moved out the hood, moved out the trap. Well, it was the hood and trap that put your ass in office. That's now right. You're looking back on the hood and trap. But the reason why I'm responding now because of what he said. He said people saying that people lying on him, saying he moved in October. That's what he said on that podcast last night. So last year, when he was voted out that seat, when folks were throwing a little slick shot toward me and shit. Where Lolo at? Where Lolo at? Well, hell, this man got a full-blown wife. And when I was fired, he done come to my aid. So what the fuck he need me for?
Yeah.
He was not living in his ward, so I couldn't defend that. So anyway, I went live last year.
Yeah.
He come up on my live. Man, tell the folks the truth. You moved out your house in October.
Lord, you gonna tell you.
I'm sorry. I said, man, tell the truth.
Bill, you better call her.
And he couldn't dispute anything.
Yeah.
He was up under my live, but he couldn't dispute anything because he knew I knew he was at the move. Even the Smith lady said that she evicted him because he subleased her house out to his sister. She even said when
she evicted the sister.
Yeah. She even said when she even said when she asked Tyrone who's staying in my house, somebody else don't move my house. He said, yeah, I got another house. My sister living there.
Yeah.
And so that when she evicted he the one that had to agree with her, so she had to give him the eviction letter for his sister to move out. And she said when she went there and got the water turned on, the water was turned on in his sister's name.
Yeah.
She said that at the hearing.
Sure did. And not only that, they did thousands of dollars worth of damage to that house. Left it trash. It left it in disrepair. And it was a nice house, and it's a nice house now. But it was me, and Tyrone lied. He moved out. I went and presented the contracts, the deed of trust, everybody that he got. I mean, the people that he borrowed the money from, I presented all that to the city council, and I presented to law. Do you really want someone to represent you that's not going to... He actually does not know how to, you have to have what you call sequential thought processing. He doesn't have that ability. He doesn't remember what he said, so he going to contradict himself, and that's what he did at that hearing and on that video. He said one thing on that live, and the next thing you know, he said actually for the last 3 weeks, so he just said one thing, but Two Belt never would have done that. He never would have done that. But we're going to play a song.
But you know what, though? The thing is, I understand when a person wants to move in a better community.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that, Tyrone.
But he could have did that and stayed in
There's nothing wrong with
too.
that. And what I would have done was, I would have told the citizen, I done had someone to break in my vehicle repeatedly and shooting in this area. But the thing about it is, and I had to move, so I'm stepping down.
Right.
That's what he could have done.
But he shouldn't have said nothing about somebody breaking in his vehicle, because, boy, I know where you're from, and I know some of your family members. That's kind of like things that we do in the hood. And I'm saying we. It's things that we do in the hood. We break in vehicles. No, I'm not too bad. I know I'm not talking about me. But when I say we, I'm identifying with people in the hood, as you would say. We're going to say, let me just speak in a manner that's ridiculous, man. Individual, most people, you have different cohorts. You have different stratas of different layers of society. Then you have the lower class people, and then you have the subculture. Now, we're going to call the subculture will be classified as the hood, low class, and the subculture. Sometimes you take the hood and move it up class, but it's still the attitude and everything stay the same. But people in subcultures and low class doesn't have the income or the money or the support network, and so they always getting in some kind of trouble. That's what I'm going to say about that. So he's used to people breaking in his vehicle, and probably done that himself. He used to the noise and the loud music because that's where he grew up from. You understand? His brother, Chew Man, died from a drug overdose. He took pills himself, and he took Serpent Epicac to make it come up, but it was too late for that, and he ended up dying. And I don't mean no disrespect, but his brother was dealing drugs.
I mean, Chew Man real cool. That hurt me when he passed away, but Chew Man.
But my point is, he's used to that.
I understand
and so
what
he
you're saying,
but what you're saying is that he should have just, and I said, and we gave him an opportunity.
And
just like now, just like now, we're giving you the opportunity to, Tyrone, I promise you that 100 votes, people really going to show you what they think about you when you get those 100 votes in this thing, because people are not going to support you. They know you're a liar, you're a cheat, you're corrupt, and you're just not very smart. I don't know how you got your education or what kind of education you have, but you're not a very smart person, and you're corrupt. And you done took the sack. You took the sack. And we don't need anybody that's going to be taking any kind of sack.
And the thing about it is that when he did move, because he said about the crimes that happened in the neighborhood, in his ward, what he should have done, if he really loved the East Side the way he claimed he does, what he should have done was he should have told the chief of police. You had every city council meeting from that time. He
never said anything about
chief of police. I need y'all patrolling my area, Just like when I moved off of Davis Street, my daughter was shot. She didn't want to go back in that house.
Right.
And so the first thing I found, I moved. But the thing about it is, I go back to that neighborhood. And shortly after I moved, Mr. Ethel Taylor, Howard constantly being shot in.
Right.
I kept on expressing my concern for Miss Ethel Taylor. I said, that old lady don't bother anybody.
That's right.
And going to the police station, everything made posts about it and everything. Right. Just like when Earl Brooklyn was killed.
Right.
You know, I expressed my feeling on Facebook about that. Yeah. We all stayed on the same block. Right. So you always going to love where you stayed, and you always going to look out for the safety of the people you really care about.
But he never did any of those things.
That's what I say he should have.
I know. That's what I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that he should have. But I want to say this, is that the reason why he moved out of his ward is because the deal he got people. It was those same people that gave him a sack, or some of their friends that convinced this person that lived out in California to finance that house for him. See, he didn't have the credit or the financial resources to get any other house. So that was the only house he could get. Nice house on the other side, but you have to get conventional financing, and he didn't qualify for that. And the people that owned those houses wasn't going to make any kind of deal with Tyrone and his cronies. Dice, man, anything you want to say on that?
And you know, another thing he said on the podcast last night, when he was on Canadian podcast last night, he talked about they looked for a house for 2 years, and he said, I don't want to say the realtor name because you might not want. He said, I got the paperwork. That besides the point. It doesn't matter how long you've been looking for a house. It doesn't matter who your realtor was. The point of the matter is you moved out your ward.
That's right.
Moved out your ward. You vacate your seat, and once you move out your ward, you must vacate your seat.
That's
if not, you'll be forced. And it didn't have anything to do with Western Lindeman putting up a good argument, convincing the other city council, as he stated in that podcast.
And that was a lie.
It was law. You presented the law.
That's right.
And so, if he felt like he was done wrong, he had 10 days to file appeal in the circuit court. And he knew that he was wrong. That's the reason he didn't file that appeal.
And I got to say this to you, Tyrone. You cannot make excuses for breaking the law. You can't. If everybody could make excuses for breaking the law and doing wrong, there wouldn't be anybody in jail. But the purpose of the law is to create order and accountability. And that's the reason why you broke the law. And you can't make excuses for breaking the law. Dice, man, play us a song. We're going to come back with you, and we're going to take your comments. And we'll open up those phone lines if anybody want to call in. Dice, man, play us a song. Folks, welcome back. You got to be real. You know, I think I can remember Craig Houston. He's the one that told me this, and you hear me say it from time to time, honest conversation. We're going to have to really have that honest conversation and that's what this is all about. And Tyrone is not honest. And folks, if you scratch a liar, you'll find a thief. If you scratch a thief, you'll find a liar. And then I promise you, the two together, lying plus thieving means corruption. And so we just got to change this out. And I want to talk about I just want to talk about the candidates and our candidacy, but we're going to listen to them. Just talk about that for a minute. I got to say this, is that one of the persons that called me and told me I got to stop jumping across the board. So I'm not going to jump across the board. I'm just going to tell y'all right now is that I'm in support of Jimmy Smith. I'm in support of Jimmy Smith being mayor for this primary. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? I think that we all should get behind Jimmy Smith. And then after the primary, I think that we should come in here then and have Jimmy Smith and Wester Lindeman come here, and we vet them and see what they're going to bring to the table, what differences that they're going to make, what is it that they're going to do to take this city to the next stage. And understand, by being a Democrat, you can support an independent, folks. Y'all got to understand that out there. So while I'm with Jimmy Smith now, after the primary, I may very well be with Western Lindeman, but right now I'm with Jimmy Smith. And I ain't saying that so that Western Lindeman don't come. I'm saying that because I think, I got to say this, I think that right now that we all need to get behind Jimmy Smith until just to get through this primary thing. Basically, what we don't want is I don't want to say anything about Kim, because if Kim beat Jimmy Smith, then the only thing, and the runoff might be between Kim, Bernie Houston, and Jimmy Smith, and to me that's a good thing. Low, two bell. I wish you could see how low looking that be. Ooh, boy, if that was my mom and I was like 12 years old, I'd run up out of here. Love what you got to say. Go on, talk low. I got to hear what you're saying.
I'm going to say this right here. You say you voted for Jimmy Smith in the primary election.
Yeah. And
then you swung your vote toward West in the general election. Well, you know,
I didn't say that. But
I know you didn't say it like that, but, you know, some people probably take it that way.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, some months ago, Jimmy Smith said he wasn't gonna run. That was
Yeah.
last year sometime. And
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
some months ago, he said he wasn't gonna run.
Yeah.
So I just want to know what made him change his mind all of a sudden. I'm Team Western Lindeman. Shit, it ain't like it's a shock.
Yeah.
And the reason why I voted for Western Lindeman, I explained the reason why. He the only one that held this corrupted administration foot to the fire when the other city council failed to do so. I'm just going to come out with it.
I see Dice over there shaking his head. Dice, you shaking your head?
I'm just going to tell you. Because I went to those council meetings.
Yeah.
And for the council meeting I didn't go to, I watched it on the City of Meridian page. And even if they didn't put it on the City of Meridian page, you can always go on the City of Meridian website and you see whatever matter it was and who voted for what. Well, the candidate that's running against Percy, Kim, and Tyrone, they basically voted for things in Percy Bland's favor. So why are they running against them?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Hope.
Yeah.
But why are they running against them? Okay.
But anyway, we gonna read your comment. Wait, hold up, Two Bill. Lofton sitting over there and ain't saying nothing. And folks, look now. The Dice man told me when I got a cough, I gotta turn my head and say. So I gotta tell y'all, I'm gonna do that. But I ain't got COVID in here. I was just tested the other day. You hear Two Bill talking?
What he say?
He said, "Bro, you with me the other day."
I was you know, COVID. I'm gonna tell you something. I taken my son.
Two Belt, don't Two Belt me.
I taken my youngest son this morning to go get a COVID test. And they do both tests. They do the rapid test and they do the other one they send off.
Yeah.
The rapid test come back within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So they came and said it was negative. So the lady asked him, "What made you come here?" He said, "Because I lost my sense of smell and taste." She said, "Oh, okay. The test will be back in 5 days. The other test. So you're gonna have to stay out of school till then." I looked at that joke. I want to knock him through that window. Boy, damn well you ain't lost your sense of smell and taste. You just eating the whole damn Little Caesar pizza last night by yourself. A large pizza by yourself last night.
He wouldn't have ate it if he didn't have no taste, did it?
And so we were joking around about it and stuff. And he said, "Mama, when we come down the highway," he said, "Mama, honesty." He said, "I have been feeling sort of rough, and if I do have it, I don't want to pass it off to anybody else."
That's good.
So I understood that.
That's being conscientious. Dice man, what those comments saying? Richard ain't gonna talk to us today. Put that camera on him, Dice, real quick. Go ahead, Dice.
Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, we got Tristan B. Hampton says, "Good evening, Lolo, Mr. Holt, and Dice Man. Y'all's platform is definitely growing."
What up, Trisha?
What's up, Tristan?
What's up, Tristan? Appreciate that. Tracy Holt says, "Good evening, everyone."
Good evening.
Hey,
Hey, baby.
Tracy.
What's up,
My
Tracy?
rock.
Arika Roo says, "Hey, Boot Scootin' Boogie."
She
What
know
you know
to
about
say.
that? What you know about
she
that?
know about it. She know.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Patricia Allen says, "Hello, everyone."
What up, Pat?
Hey, Pat.
What's up, Trish? Arika Roo says, okay, she just throwing her hands in there. All right, Patricia Allen going back at her. Let me go down a little bit more.
You go ahead, read what Pat has to say.
No.
She
They
said,
just throwing sides at each other. They good. Johnny Dupree for Secretary of State says, "Hey, Eddie, how are you? Let's do it. I enjoy the country song you're playing, LOL. Look forward to hearing from me, and I'll be looking to hear from you."
Yeah. Thank you. And that's the Dice Man is the one that actually is the station engineer. He built this, and also he's the one who played the music. Somebody requested that, but I love that song. Dice, you might have to play that every night. Just kidding.
Oh, boy.
Hey, isn't Sam Bell coming here to do something soon?
Yeah, Bro Bell will be here starting Tuesday for the Black History Month. He's gonna do the shows, and I think we're gonna bring him in at 5 maybe, right before your show. But people, we got a treat for you. We was working on it today. We got a treat for you, so you guys need to tune in to that.
All right,
you can always
and
go back and watch it. Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna work this. But I think what we're gonna do is, I think me and Two Belt gonna make a song. I think everybody want to hear me play the guitar. So Dice, we're gonna come to your studio and we're gonna make something for you to play here. All right?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. We got Small Town, Mississippi says country. Okay. Audrey O'Neill says, "Good evening. You all, my wife, love that song Dice played first.
Wow.
Okay. Mr. Holt and Lolo, wasn't you vying for that song too? Okay, yeah, they wanted it. All right, let's see what we got here. Johnny Dupree says, Tate's handled this crisis horribly. He needs to leave or be removed. He told us when it was first getting in the state, he said we won't go under a stay-at-home order and believe in the prayer of God.
Take Reed.
Yeah.
Johnny Dupree also says he's a man who brings God in everything and does the most ungodly things for this doggone state. It really makes me mad.
Yeah.
Louise Jones says, hello, everyone.
Hello, Miss Jones.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Jones. She also says, miss being on. I've been working a lot. Blessings to you, Mr. Holt. I pray you win.
Thank you.
Me too.
Okay. DG Nation says, hello, Eddie, Lolo, and Dice Man. Enjoying the show. You all doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Felicia Brown says, hello, Eddie, Lolo, and Dice. Just keep up all the good work. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Brown.
Thank you.
Louise Jones says, speak the word, Mr. Holt.
Thank you again.
All right. Guy Davis says, hey, need to know how can a Meridian police officer that lives in Wayne County can drive his K9 vehicle home every day?
Corruption. They're
Oh, I know
laughing
who
at.
that
It's
is.
one
I
of
know
the
exactly who
things.
that is.
You talking about?
You talking about Walker?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that the new administration is going to put a stop to. And guess what, folks? And if you're concerned about any of the, such as, say, even Weston Linderman, Jimmy Smith, or Kim Burnham Houston doing what Percy Bland doing, I'm not going to allow for it to happen. You got Kristen Cockrell, you have myself, and what's the other person that's...
Alicia Smith.
Oh, yeah, Alicia Smith. The three of us just not going to let it happen. It's not going to happen. And we're planning on going in there with the wildfire. I don't know about anybody else, but I know about us.
Okay. M-Dog says a lot of them do take them home, Guy Davis. He was replying back to that.
Yeah, you know, Howard Coast stayed way on the other side of Philadelphia.
But I think they should bring their own personal vehicle. Nobody else has that. That should not be a perk. It wears the vehicle out unnecessarily. Those vehicles should be there. They should come in, get ready, and get prepared for their shift. And they should have their personal vehicles parked somewhere. I definitely think that they should get out of that and build a new police station somewhere else. I just think so, because you're paying too much money just to lease a building that you do not own. So you're enriching somebody else. The money they've already spent on that, they could have built a state-of-the-art jail larger than that for the money they spent on that, just repairing it and trying, and it's still leaking and still have all kind of problems.
using taxpayer dollar.
And using taxpayer
gas,
dollar.
the gas in
That's
it.
right. And still don't have a jail there that they can house people there, because it doesn't meet federal standards.
So they don't have windows inside the cell.
Doesn't meet federal standards.
Okay. Patricia Allen says, you never know what your children are capable of doing, meaning Parks, be careful how you treat people because you want to shine. What goes around comes around.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And I understand what Trisha's saying. That's right. That's right. That's somebody's children. None of us should mistreat anyone's children. And we should all treat our children like they're our own children. You understand? If we treat our own children like they're our own, then... I have a heart like, you know what kind of heart I got. I got a lot of heart like you.
That child probably ain't never read the policy, the handbook. Probably didn't know. The parent probably
The
never read the
children
handbook.
don't. The children don't.
Oh shit! Yeah, because they give the handbook to the parent.
Oh, this is what I wanted to tell the parents is that instruct your children not to fill out statements or talk to anyone, no matter, I don't care what kind of trouble they get into or what grade they're in. From day one, they get our children to tell what happened. They're already programming our children to respond. So teach your children from day one, while they're in kindergarten, while they're in Head Start. Teach them to not tell what happened, but I want my mama. We're teaching them then, I want my lawyer. I want my mama. I'm not talking to you. I want my mama to come here. I want my auntie, whoever your primary caretaker is, I want them to come here. I'm not confessing. I'm not writing anything out. I'm not saying anything. until my mother get here. When my mother get here, I will talk to her, and then you can talk to my mother or my primary caretaker or my father. But teach your children and grandchildren and your neighbor teaching. I don't think that I would be overstepping my bounds if I taught Lofton children to do that, or your children, or Dice children, or your children out there. I think if I'm doing anything that's going to help your child, I think that I'm not overstepping my bounds, and I will step in.
And that's at school and with law enforcement.
That's right, and with law enforcement. But they start teaching our children that in school. They used to wait until they got in middle school, but now they don't start sending our children to in-school suspension and all this stuff from day one, keeping them in their class early, making them come to school early. And that's just actually preparing our children to accept oppression and incarceration.
Well, my kids know not to make statements. They don't say nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Johnny Dupree says, that's the injustice I've talked about with Eddie. We both talked and understand that there's a lot of injustices.
That's
it's
right.
not justifiable to check something without a search warrant.
That's right.
Okay, Patricia Allen says, I have left my gun in the car. I have left my gun in the car and forgotten my son at the time was 15 years of age.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Johnny Dupree says the Attorney General of the state will be notified as of now. I just got off the phone with the now Secretary of State. He defeated me, but we're very good friends. I'm calling him back now. This will be.
We appreciate that, Johnny. One of the things that we need for the city of Meridian do is to not conduct this election. And the county can do so, and I think the county should do so. It's something that's going to be on the agenda Tuesday, and I think, Lo, that we and you out there in podcast land should go there just to be concerned. I don't think that the city of Meridian should do this election. I don't think they need to. I think that the county need to do it because
I think the county is over the election, but Percy City Election Commission will be there the night of the election.
I was told by
One election commissioner.
The election commissioner from District 2 from Lauderdale County told me that they haven't yet hired them to run the election.
Oh, I was told that they was running the election.
I was told that today.
She told you that? That's absolutely true.
Told me today that that's Consuela Rue, Miss Rue. She told me that they have not hired them yet, that it's supposed to be coming up on Tuesday's Tuesday meeting. But here's what we need to do. We don't want the city of Meridian to do it. So that's one thing we need you to do, Mr. Dupree. We need for you to ensure the integrity of this election coming up in February the 2nd, because Percy's putting signs up everywhere, in the middle of the road, everywhere, on top of people's houses, on every corner. He's putting signs everywhere, and we already know that he's corrupt. We already know that he's corrupt. He's crook. We already know that he'll lie, cheat, and steal. So he's going to do everything he possibly can to keep this job. So we need to be wary.
Okay, Mississippi B Mac says good evening.
Big Mac.
I know you missed the song, B Mac. You missed it. We played Boot, Scoot, and Boogie. Go ahead, Dice.
Yes, indeed. Patricia Allen says, "Lo, do you ever forget anything you remember when it rains?" LOL.
Yeah, you go back last year on February 12th. It rained that day. Yeah, it rained that day. Sure did.
She got a good memory.
Okay, Mississippi B Max says, "A lie don't care who tells it."
Yeah, absolutely.
M Dog says Tyrone never spoke up about anything. He doesn't seem like he can run a whole city.
And he's not talking about platform or anything like that. No, if you notice, people, none of the candidates are talking about their platform or their report card. The report card is what they did. Nobody's talking about what they did because they can't say that. Nobody's talking about what they're going to do. Percy's desperate. He didn't get the money to redo your roads. He think that's your watermelon. So now he's cleaning off the curb. The curbs hadn't been scraped since he been in office and patching up holes. But that's our watermelon, folks. We don't need watermelon now. We can feed ourselves. What we need is a quality of life for our children and for ourselves. At my age, I need something to do in this city. Lo needs something to do in this city. Dice, Richard, our children, everybody, every age group, every cohort needs something to do in this city, and they don't have absolutely nothing to do.
Okay, bro, Sam Bell says, Assalamu alaikum, kings and queens. Great information.
What up, Sam?
Wa
you doing, bro?
alaikum assalam.
Back at you, bro, Sam. Tristan B. Hampton says, Tyrone handled the situation badly. It was cringeworthy. People were arguing, and he could have squashed all of it by simply telling the truth, and he's still lying. That's the most unfortunate part.
That's right.
And that's the part that got into me last year. Because people was all upset and then throwing me in the middle. Where is she at? Where is she at? He was loving they comment. I'm like, dude, just tell the truth.
That's
I mean,
right.
went on for days on last night on that podcast, on Canadian Park podcast. He said, you notice when you done something wrong, or when you ain't done nothing wrong, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got to say anything. He said, that's why I've been silent. No, you ain't been silent. You kept this shit going on for days and
Sure
days
did.
and days and days and days. Well, he could have just stopped it. So listen here, I give up. I did move out my ward, so I had to vacate my seat.
Well, here's the thing of it is that he's definitely even lying and doing anything unethical violate the principles of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and the Libertarian Party, I guess, and the People's Party. Now, when I say people, I'm talking about like us, Tyrone.
And then, you know, the people that live over where he was staying at
Yeah.
in the Smith house called me up, Tyrone the moves in the U-Haul truck there. I'm like, yeah, really? Didn't want no part of it. And then when these folks started throwing a little slick ass post on Facebook about me, he was loving that shit. I'm like, okay, enough is enough.
Nice.
Okay, Brenda Gordon says, I don't blame you, Lolo. You need to look at him like that.
Yeah.
V's Catering LLC says, joining late, but good evening, reaching out with Eddie Gray Hope family.
What up, B?
Hey,
Yeah, and make sure you guys like and subscribe and share it. And those of you that just started listening, you can go back and watch all of our videos, and all of them are just as entertaining and just as enlightening.
Okay, what's up, V? M-Dog says, Weston has been the only council member to speak up and speak out. He's the only one that called for an investigation on the Levi Gibbs case. He marched in the Black Lives Matter rally in Meridian with us.
When Kim did not.
Well, let me tell you.
And,
Ooh,
no, and not only Kim, but neither did Fannie Mae Johnson.
I'm not trying to.
All right.
Speaking of the Black Lives Matter thing, Kim was there. And she told, I got a black son, I got a black nephew. Thank Lolo Allen for bringing up the matter of what's going on with the Levi Gibbs situation. And they turned right around. Cause that large crowd down there on the sit down lawn.
Too bad you saw it just made me some crow.
No, I didn't see her marching. I'm just saying, I didn't know she was
Hey,
there.
that's my story. She was there. She saw it too, Bell, but I didn't see her.
I didn't know she was there until afterward. I saw Weston
I'm
Lemon
not
marching.
open.
I got Weston Lemon on film
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
in the Black Lives Matter thing. And he didn't speak at the thing, but he
Yeah.
participated or whatnot.
But he wanted to speak, but she wouldn't let him
Yeah,
speak.
they won't let him speak.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, as I spoke, Kim spoke after me and said, I appreciate Lolo Allen. I'm like, what the hell she used my name for? Why'd she bring my name up? And then acting like she was thankful for me bringing up the matter regarding Levi Gibb. And then turned around weeks later and said that Levi Gibb was resisting arrest. She did not see that man resisting no
I
arrest.
sure did. And Too Bell, she was there, but you know Too Bell. Too Bell, I can't even talk right now. Go ahead.
Now, it was a few of them that she wasn't there now. You probably
Yeah.
got it mixed up with the other one.
That's what happened.
So
Thank
we
you, Lolo.
marched from the
Thank
city
you.
hall to the police station.
Miss Too Bell told Lolo what to say. That's right. It was them other ones that she wasn't in.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't at the one when we were fighting for Rita to get her job back.
But that
And
Lolo
then-
serious.
and
ain't
then
she?
you was-
Can I
and
get her
then-
to laugh today?
and then-
Tyrone, don't you do that no more.
And then the one that you was at
Yeah.
when you walked from the city
Yeah.
hall to the police station.
That's right.
And you
Yeah.
spoke in there, and I
Yeah.
spoke in there, and she wasn't at that one. So
No,
you
she
just
wasn't.
got the two mixed up.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
We gonna get a smile at you today.
Oh, I'm serious, motherfucker. Ain't I?
Yeah,
He
see,
sure
that's
is.
big
We
dog.
ain't playing it. She done tore the table up too bad. You gonna have to come fix it.
All right, let me see here, get my camera back. All right, Eddie Crosby says, Weston has my vote to the end.
And I want to say this, that I got to say that M-Dog is telling the truth. See, I got to say that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say that he's telling the truth about Weston. That's what I like about Weston. That's what I admire about him. That's what I respect about him so much. But on that February the 6th, I'm voting for me and I'm voting for Jimmy
April.
Smith. April the who?
April 6th.
See how she got me? I told y'all I'm confused right now. I was confused today because I was calling Arizona or Korea or Leah. I was calling everybody. And then I talked to my daughter Leah today, so all that made me feel good. It really did, talking to a family.
So they got to realize that the primary election, April 6th, general election, June the 8th.
Yeah.
It's important to go out and vote in both elections. Ward
Right.
2 citizen, make sure y'all vote for Eddie Holt. Ward 5, Christian Cochran.
That's right.
Ward 4, Alicia Smith.
That's right.
And Mayor Weston Lindeman on June
That's right.
8th, Weston Lindeman.
That's it. Okay.
I got to say this, Dice, before you go.
Okay.
No one should be afraid to come here and speak at this table right here. I don't care what office you're running for. If you're running for mayor, you're running for city council, you should not just this table, but anybody, even Cornelius Parks podcast, however many, I don't know how many he has, but I never watched it. But my point of it is that we are a medium to the public. People are listening, they're watching. Not everybody look at WTOK or Meridian Star. If one person telling you not to come here, that one person is making you lose more. That person, if one person is telling you not to come here or telling you that you shouldn't come on this podcast, that is someone you should not listen to. Probably that person can't even vote for you in the first place, especially if they don't live in your ward or in this city. But if you don't come here, it say a lot. Am I right or wrong?
If a candidate wants to come on here, but they scared because who supporting their campaign. So you was a puppet. You ain't got no business running no way.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
when you have people like that that are afraid to come on here because of what others think about them,
Yeah.
they don't need to be in the race.
Yeah.
That means your ass can be controlled.
And that's politicking. That's what's got this city in the position and the place that it's in right now. People being political correct, doing things that people in position of power and authority or the bourgeoisies, you're doing things that they want you to do as opposed to listening to everybody. Look at Donald Trump. He said and did what he wanted to do, and it was over 70 million people went along with him. Now, it wasn't enough for him to get the job, but it still was enough to make him significant. My point of it is that you should come here and talk to the people that are here because there's a lot of people watch this, and some people are watching it in groups. So it's a lot of people. So for you to not want to come here, that's to your detriment.
You can't pick and choose like Kim Warner Houston refused to come on here.
Yeah.
Because she know that she don't want to answer these tough questions.
Well, one thing
but
that
yet she went on Cornelia podcast, and guess what? He probably get like 100 views per podcast.
Yeah.
We get up in 1,000, but she went on Cornelia podcast.
Wow.
But see, she has her picks and choose.
Yeah.
That's just like she'll do.
And so
she'll do the same thing with the
well,
citizen. She'll have a picks and choose who she'll do with.
Yeah.
Who she'll do things for when you're supposed to do it for the whole entire city.
And that's a bad example. You can go on Cornelius Park, but you can't come here. You can go on 1010, but you can't come here. Wow, man, that says a lot.
She know probably about 100 people listen to the podcast. It's that many people listen to per podcast of ears. She know we get up in 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Way up there. So she don't want to come on here because she don't want all these people seeing her ass.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
She in a choke.
Well, I produce the show, so I can assure you guys, anybody that comes here, I'm going to make sure you're treated cordially.
Yeah.
That's really how we do it.
And,
We
and
did
how
it that
about
way
that's
at the
just
radio
how I am.
station.
That's
too.
why I brought up.
We don't never attack no guests.
Right. Okay. Patricia Allen says, Eddie, I'm sorry, I will not get behind Jimmy Smith. When I seen Smith and the news, looked like he had some Republicans standing behind him, and I'm in fear that he will be worse than Percy.
Yeah. Hey, look, I still love you, little sister. If you vote for Jesus, Donald Trump, whoever you want to, I still love you. My love is unconditional. I want you to choose. I'm not going to dislike you or hate you or take my toys away from you if you vote for Kim, if you vote for Weston or whoever you want to vote for. Hey, I respect the power of the vote and I respect choice.
Okay, Pat.
What's up, Trish? All right. Angela Amerson says, hello there, you guys.
Hey,
What a
Angela.
gay. You know I've been calling her gay get.
It's
gay.
Yeah.
I've been calling her gay get.
Gay Get is that other one.
The guy.
Yeah, the guy.
And I don't know why we
yeah.
call her. And she don't never correct me though.
Yeah.
I'm like, gay.
Probably a lot of people say
Gay
that.
get. She probably think I can't pronounce her name. Well, I can't pronounce her. I'm country as hell, so.
Yeah, okay. Penny Holt says, actress Cicely Tyson has died at 96.
No.
Wow,
Man, I hate to hear that.
she's 96, Dice.
Yeah, I know, but we looking for the
And
hundreds.
how
man.
about she worked basically all her
all
life.
her career, that's
Yeah,
right.
all her career.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Miss Two Belt, for letting us know that. Thank you, Miss Two Belt Secretary.
She lived a long life.
Yeah, she sure did.
Yeah,
Was
played
only-
in some good movies.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Played in Tyler Perry movie, plays in
Harriet
movie Richard
Tubman.
Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she played that Harriet Tubman. She played that role
Yeah.
too.
Right.
She looked like Harriet Tubman, too.
Okay.
I ain't worried about none of her relatives getting mad if she outlived all of them.
Okay.
That was something to laugh about, but it's not funny, though.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Johnny Dupree says the AG, Mrs. Lynn Fitch, just told me and assured me that she gives him within 6 days, and after that, if he has no disciplinary actions taken, the state will relieve him and maybe the chief of police, Reed.
Wow.
Who's she talking about? She talking about the child that was suspended?
I'm not
That
sure.
fell? Because that's the case. He didn't go to the city. Cornelia Park taking him straight to the county. He was booked in and received a $2,500 bond, mugshot taken, everything.
Yeah, that was
Child
bad.
probably never went to jail a day in his life.
That's bad. I appreciate Johnny Dupree. I really. And when you're in town, let's you and I ride in that vet, Johnny.
Okay. Angela Amerson says, I hate I missed the show, just making it home.
You can go back and listen to the rest of Gay.
Yes, indeed. All right. Kevin Boyd says, I hit a pothole so hard today, my damn lights went out in my car. Bye, Percy. Shaking my head.
Look
Look at you didn't get killed because them dangerous ass potholes out
And then
there.
they ain't gonna want to pay him.
Hey, Two Belt, I saw a damn pothole swallow a damn tornado. Two Belt.
Well,
Too bad I ain't gonna even say that about that, cause my dear she gonna say, don't Two Belt
On
me.
45th Avenue, I did.
okay. Johnny Dupree says, love you all. Thank you for your time. Great show tonight. Had a great time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
And we appreciate your input and your support and your care and concern for this city and this state.
Okay, Crystal Harris says, just for your information, Walmart sells dash cams for personal vehicles. I believe all minorities should invest in one because targeting with MPD is real.
She got that
Yeah,
right.
she's right. Thanks for that input. Y'all know that's my daughter, right? That's my other rock.
She go by Lala on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can look at my daughters. You can look at Katara. You can look at Arizona. You can look at Aaliyah. You can look at Tracy. You can look at Crystal. You can just see that whole blood runs deep.
yeah. Beautiful girls. Okay.
They got it from their daddy. Now they got beautiful mothers too, though.
Yeah.
They do. They have beautiful mothers.
Johnny Dupree says, I understand that the county runs it, but I don't know about you guys, but I'd feel better if we know at least the state has present in the city to make sure,
That's right. That's right.
presence in the city
We
to
do.
make sure that it goes correctly.
Yeah, we would feel better, and we thank you for making that happen for us. Thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Okay. He also says there will be Homeland Security in the area at every polling place and undercover FBI agents in the lines, Eddie. Trust me, I can tell you all, I am on the phone. It won't be a rigged election this time.
Thank you, Johnny.
Okay. Mississippi B. Mac says, don't be racially profiling me, Gray. Ha 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 ha. I ain't about that Brooks and Dunn life.
Hey, look
Might
here.
be white and wear overalls, but I'll take some Al Green.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, all right. But okay then, I guess, because I love it. I do, man. When that song came out, I had to play it, and Two Belt learned it. Oh, and did it. Boy, you can't beat Two Belt dancing. I believe he met Miss Two. No, he didn't meet Miss Two Belt. She didn't. Miss Two Belt don't go to clubs. But they are a wonderful couple, and ever since they've been together, they've been together.
Wow.
I ain't got it right yet, Two Belt. I've been married 15 times, and I ain't got it right yet. And that old crazy woman of mine. Uh-oh, I'm going to get stabbed night alone.
They don't stab you. Don't stab you.
Nice, you can tell she mad at me, not nice.
We ain't to the bottom yet.
Nice said, if he get to the bottom and she ain't saying that, she must be mad at you, bro.
What's up, Tony? All right. Johnny Dupree also says, I'm going to make sure of it when the election day comes that there will be a state presence you all have never seen before, so much that the national government will be there. I will be fair. He also says, I was laughing at an old one you did. You said your girlfriend was flirting, LOL. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me go down a little
No
bit.
flirting at him. And it's true, when he was, didn't he run, whatever he was running for about, around 15 or 16, came here over in College Park. Yes, he was flirting with him. And boy, he was loving it too. It didn't bother me. I was glad to see him. He almost did it too. Almost. I promise he almost did it. We can always go back and look at the mistakes we made, and I hope you correct it this time. And we need to start. If that's what you're going to do, Johnny, you need to start now.
Yeah, like Stacey Abrams did,
Yeah,
Grand
do
Roof
it.
Store
Yeah.
early.
Matter of fact, contact her.
Okay, Tristan B. Hampton says, rest in peace, Grand Queen Cicely Tyson, a true gem.
I thought she was talking about you for a minute.
I love Sister Tyson. I love her.
Yeah. And she said Grand Queen. That's
I
why
like
she talking
Angela
about all the
Baskin. I
black
like Angela
ladies.
Baskin too. I like Angela Baskin.
Yeah, Angela Bassett.
Let me stop saying her name before she passed away.
Okay, Mississippi B. Mac says, wait a minute, hold on, guys, let me go down a little bit. Says, those Republicans that you speak of standing behind Jimmy are all his brothers that went to the police academy and served with him. One of them is my father. We vote for policies, not party.
Thank you for that clarification. You heard that, didn't you, Pat?
Okay.
Two Belt, you gotta watch the show with Pat. When she get to typing, just snatch the keyboard out of here. Not just kidding. I appreciate anybody with their comment. I appreciate all your comments.
I know Tom Miller was there standing behind Jimmy Smith and Chief Dubois. You know Tom Miller used
Yeah,
to
I
be
know
the
Tom.
police
He
chief?
used to be the police chief. Yeah, I know Tom. He might have arrested me before. Probably all of them arrested me before. I used to be bad. And didn't even look like it. It wasn't that I was bad. Back then, jealousy, the same kind of jealousy that exists now, they always wanted to fight me all the time. And so that's what I was always, every weekend, Mama was getting me out of jail for fighting or something. Or either somebody would get me out of jail or I was getting myself out of jail. And everybody wanted to fight me and hurt me, but after a while, they wouldn't fight me no more because I wasn't losing any fights. They figured that something's going on. Then when that Bruce Lee stuff came out, then everybody knew because Bruce Lee made karate popular. But I wanted to learn how to fight because I was bullied when I went to school. I wanted to fight and I tried to fight, but they didn't fight me back. They just like hold me and did things to me. One of the things Alonzo Hodges did to me that traumatized me, I'll never forget. At Magnolia, we was going to, I was in the 9th grade and we was going to the auditorium. And I had just got Ivy Lee, they call it, with all the hair cut off with the part. He spit on my head and slapped it, and I ran into him. But he did like this, held my head and my little arm swinging. I couldn't even hear. Mr. Taylor, J.C. Taylor, broke it up. And he sent him to the office, but I was everybody laughing at me, and I was mad, you know. So that's the reason why I learned how to fight. So nobody would spit on my head with impunity.
Heard that loud sound too when you smacked you, probably.
Boy, did I. Boy, I'm telling you. It's like, well, y'all call them water bees. We call them cockroaches. Or like busting 15 water bugs at one time. That's how loud it was.
Wow. Okay. Mississippi B-Max says, I'm a white male that might look like a Republican. If I support Gray, would you say look out for him?
Yeah, we understand. Hey, look. That was a very well spoken, and it was a point that was proven and very well taken. Thank you, Mississippi B-Mac, for that.
Okay.
And what he's saying is that we got to stop judging people based on color, and I get that too. And I want to tell you, because I say nigger or because I said Negro or if I say white folks, it doesn't mean that I'm prejudiced or that I'm not supportive of white people or that I'm supportive of black people. So Mississippi BMAC, now I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody else out there that think I'm a racist, because you got to look at my heart and look at what I'm talking about. I'm talking about removing this administration. George Thomas is the only person that I think should be removed that's not black, and the reason why I think so is because he's been there so long. He's a derelict from the past, and he has enabled this administration. Weston Linderman is a white young male that I'm in support of, meaning that I've supported everything he's done. I have a lot of respect for him. And believe it or not, I believe it's going to come down to him and Jimmy Smith going head to head.
I understand what his name, Mississippi B-Mac.
Yeah.
I understand what he's saying, but, hell, we vote for damn white folk.
Yeah.
The thing is, what my sister was saying was she saw Republicans standing behind him, and there was Republicans standing behind Jimmy Smith.
Yeah. She took up for her sister.
No, I understood. I understood what he said. Just like, we got behind Thad Cochran
that's
against
right.
Chris McDaniel before.
Sure did.
So, it's not about black or white. Hell, we don't support a white folk.
We want the right
worked
person
hard
for the
for
job.
Francis Stevens and Robert Compton when they ran for judge, and Michael Grace too. Yeah, so it ain't about race. But
I really do think that if Weston got the job, I think that he would be. I think it would take Jimmy a little longer to do what Weston would do. The reason why I say that is because Jimmy will have to get there and learn and have qualified peoples with him to help him with that job. But Weston already know.
He already know.
Yeah, he already knows. So he would do what Jimmy's going to do faster. So, folks, I got to tell you that vote for the person that if you think that Mississippi Meridian need immediate results, then you got to vote for the person that's going to give it to you. Definitely can't go back to the past. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not trying to make anyone mad, but you cannot vote for anybody that's been sitting there for 7 years, 4 years, or 6 months, but have not done anything but enable this administration.
Okay, Johnny Dupree says, I agree with Mississippi B-Mac. The city is so corrupt, like I might need to try to go there and try to speak to the community and unite them. I will try to do that before Election Day.
Thank you. We would appreciate that. Let us know so we can set something up.
Okay, Small Town Mississippi says, Tool Belt needs to come on the show. Keep y'all straight.
Come on, Tool Belt. Come on. Come on, Tool Belt.
Okay. All Gas No Brakes 81 says, hi y'all, just got here, gonna watch the replay.
Where you been, Carvan? Where have you been, lady?
She probably had to grade some papers or something.
I think she got her own business now.
Oh, she do? That's good. Congratulations on
She a counselor.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go down a little bit here, guys. All right. Okay, there we go. Johnny Dupree says, that's probably what I'm going to do is make election stops in Meridian, Eddie. Really, really, really thinking about it.
That'll be good.
Okay. Tony Owen says, hello there, Dice, and my girl Lolo.
What up,
Gray.
Tony?
And my girl Lo and Gray.
I thought she wasn't even gonna speak to me.
Yeah.
You better have spoke to me. I'm gonna do the stabbing.
What's up, Tony? Glad to see a smile on your face.
I'm hungry too. You ain't fed me today.
Okay.
Lo, she probably can cook better than you.
Oh, really?
She can cook, Lo.
She must can throw down then.
She can throw down.
She make you want to slap somebody?
Huh?
Make you want to slap somebody?
Your mama.
Well, hell, mine make you want to kill your mama.
Okay.
That's a good one.
All right. Small Town Mississippi says, I just looked at the podcast, Weston, only 9 to 10 live viewers, and wait a minute, it's moving while I'm reading it. Okay, only 9 to 10 live viewers, and the videos only 171 views at most. So she's talking about.
So in other words, that the max that he ever gotten on, couldn't he ever gotten on one of his podcasts? It's 171 views. You know what?
Somebody just calling me right now. I'm doing my show, son.
Look, speaking of that, Dice. When I ran for supervisor, there was this, I'm going to say, Republican radio station reached out to me.
Yeah.
Wanted to know where I come over there and discuss my candidacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them absolutely not. And They was like, "Why? You a candidate?" Well, I don't need. I'm not trying to reach your people. I'm trying to reach my people that's in District 2.
Yeah.
My people don't listen to your type of music, so absolutely not. You know, my son listen to country music. I listen to country music, but the people I was trying to touch is the people that live in District 2. They listen to 95.1 or 104.1.
Yeah.
They don't listen to WMOX and all this bullshit. So I said, no, I don't need to come on your show.
I'm serious. I mostly listen to jazz, watercolors, and the news.
What about Roberta Flack? You like Roberta Flack?
I don't like her or her mom.
You don't like Roberta Flack?
I ain't never like Roberta Flack. I'll tell you, Dionne Warwick, I ain't never liked her music. I tell you, Minnie Riperton died too young.
Yeah.
She died too young. She had I don't know how high I don't think anybody could go as high as she could go. Even Ella Fitzgerald could not go as high as she could go, and Ella Fitzgerald could break a glass. They used to have a commercial. But I like Minnie Riperton, and I like the music that she did, and ain't no telling what she would have done. I think she had breast cancer or something. But anyway, no, I don't like Roberta Flack. I don't like that old dude. He looked real young forever. And I don't even like Sammy Davis Jr. music, but I like his acting, but I didn't like his style of music. Because those guys, people like them, Johnny Matthews or Johnny whoever. Johnny Mathis, yeah. I don't like his music, but they got rich. You know, they were good, just like Michael Jackson, very good with business. They went out to an audience that made them very, very rich and very, very wealthy. And because of the generation that I came in, folks, you know, just R&B. Everything was separate. We had our own everything. And so when I first heard the Bee Gees, I thought when I went in the military, I heard the Bee Gees and heard, man, it was culture
Bee Gees,
shock.
the one that sang that song "Staying Alive."
Yeah, it was culture
Oh,
shock.
I love the Bee Gees.
But you understand, you wouldn't like, how can you mend a broken heart? That was it was good, but you understand that I ain't never heard anything like that before. And then Freddie Fender and Carlos Santana, I never heard that before until I went into the military. WQIC is all we had, and all they played was like Sam Cooke, James Brown, that stuff, strictly black music, and so it was culture shock for me. But people like Sammy Davis Jr. that was older than I, and Johnny Mathis, they learned to, I guess, what they call that, crossover. And they got very, very wealthy doing that.
Minnie Riperton, my favorite female vocalist,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Spent years looking for her. Okay. Gary Thomas says, hello, everyone. Eddie, did you give Lolo a talk-up pill tonight?
Shut up!
Don't have to.
Cowboy fan, shut up!
Go ahead, Dice.
Okay. Angela Amerson says, you tell Lolo what I said.
Nope.
Forgot.
But let me see. Dice, put the phone number up there for her to call if she want to call in.
Okay. All right. So we get just a second here.
Don't she know how to inbox you?
I'll call her.
Okay,
Cause
Dice gonna call you.
Cause we at 7:35. We don't
Yeah.
want to take up too much of Dice time.
All right. Hold on. Yeah, made me lose my camera. Let me get back. All right, here we go. All Gas No Brakes 81 says, yes, I have my own counseling practice. I have another client in 30 minutes.
That's
great.
good.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
That's good.
Counseling.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Carlos Wallace says, good evening, everyone.
What up, the mayor of Tumasuma? That's the mayor of Tumasuma, Mississippi, Carlos Wallace.
That's the mayor of Tumasuma.
That's the mayor of Tumasuma.
Well, hello, Mr.
He
Mayor.
run Tumasuma.
Oh,
I'm gonna
he
tell you
run-
something.
I believe I know Carlos Wallace.
You got a lot of these folks around here call themselves a real OG, call themselves an OG. False claim. Carlos Wallace is a real motherfucking OG. He's a real OG.
I say it's Johnny Overstreet.
I don't know who that is.
We know that one.
I heard Overstreet. I heard Overstreet.
This Overstreet is the last of the OGs. But you know, you talking about like Johnny Sims and stuff. But Johnny, how old is your cousin? He laughed because he know I'm telling the truth.
He's pretty old. He got
Yeah.
some age.
He's-
Close to 80.
Yeah, he's close to 80 years old.
I know some Overstreet, but
And you don't know. We talking about when it was killing every weekend. It was the Overstreets that was doing it. They didn't play. No joke. The word. And you had the twins, the Armstrongs. Both of them was killed, but they did a lot of killing before they killed. These here, Henry Armstrong uncles. Emma Armstrong is a junior. His daddy brother. Them guys wasn't no joke. The Armstrongs, they wasn't no joke. The Overstreets and the Armstrong, but the Overstreets and Tommy Triplett, that's Linda, I don't know whether my second or third. I had so many wives too, but I don't know which was which. But anyway, her daddy, he was, Chuck Davis killed him. He actually was, this man was dangerous. He got stabbed in his sleep. Right by, you know that, what's the Enterprise Funeral Home, the ditch, and that house where them Daves used to live at. He was going with their mother. And Chuck went in there and stabbed him and ran. He chased him and he sat down in the middle of the street and the blood just came out, just pouring out. And then it just went out until it dripped, and then he just dropped his head and died in the middle of the street.
But I'm talking about Carlos Wallace, the mayor of Tombstone, OG. Don't nobody fuck with him. They scared of him. He get on Facebook, he talk about their ass. All these motherfuckers, they bought that life, but they scared.
Oh, yeah.
This one right here ain't scared.
What's up, Carlos Wallace?
Okay. All right. Let me see. Angela Amerson says, I didn't say anything. I just started laughing because you would never say gay.
Gay.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm calling her gay. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Somebody said, no, her name gay. I said, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's gay. I knew that too, but I wasn't finna correct you.
I always
We
call
were
her
gonna,
gay.
I thought y'all had some kind of agreement.
Okay. Carlos Wallace says, I do.
That's right. The mayor of Tombstone.
That's right. And you know what? I didn't even know her name was Angela Amerson, like until, because that's what we grew up calling her. Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, Catherine Payne says, Uncle is 87.
That's her uncle?
I guess so.
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah. Yeah. But hey, Miss Payne, yeah. But anyway, Lo, what you got to say to the people?
Make sure these folks, make sure you get out there and register to vote. You got to be registered 30 days prior to election.
Right.
If you know anybody going to be 18 years old on April the 6th,
That's right.
they can register 30 days prior to April the 6th. You ain't turn 18.
Yeah.
Long as you know you'll be 18 on April the 6th, register 30 days prior to that. So when April the 6th get here, they can go and vote. And you must be registered with the address which you live.
That's right.
If you stay in Ward 2, you got to vote the precinct in Ward 2. You get what I'm saying? So make sure if your voter registration application not up to date, make sure you get it up to date. Go down to Lauderdale County Circuit Clerk, down to Jill Johnson. Or either you can inbox me and I'll come and sign you up.
That's right. Lofton, you gonna say something to the people today?
Not too much. What you hear here is what you need to know. This is the problem that we have. We get valuable information and we don't use it. We are hurting our own selves and our children. And when you got people that will speak up and tell you the truth, that's what you need.
Right, and I agree with that. And well, I want to thank all of you for listening in, and I want you guys to be safe. And Dice Man, take us on. Two Belt, what's up?